Okay, so when I walk around and I look at the ground, I like to think like of designing games where you got tiny little worlds and the people are probably about 2, maybe 3 millimeters tall at the most. And like the plants, why would they climb up on them, and why wouldn't they have to worry about climbing up on them? Because if they fell, are they going to smash and are they going to break? And this all comes around not to just designing video games and storylines and thinking about how funny people are and how interesting life is. But it goes back to when you might have imagined that clouds were actually canopies on magnificently massive trees, like the ancient trees, like a tree from Avatar, like James Cameron's Avatar with the blue people, except bigger than that. And so it becomes a very real aspect of a reality like that, where people would fall and die. And that would become part of a political culture, that would become part of a social culture. There would be like a whole thing designed around that, as far as like social mechanics and all that stuff. But obviously we're going to climb up those trees, and we'd find out that like ants, we can destroy these trees. These trees would fall and destroy massive amounts of environment. And in reality, give me a second, these would make up a very large portion of the surface area of the planet which we habitate. So because we can habitate the surface area, allowing these trees to die would be very like profound and significant. But so it's like going back to Tyrannosaurus rexes and having Tyrannosaurus rexes going around, and if they had wings, right, and there were these giant lizards that ate trees, they ate all the pine needles and everything, and so they could actually breathe fire. These giant fire-breathing lizards that survive on eating the branches of trees that have flipping wings, just like a lot of stories would suggest that Mamie is actually the reality of the situation. People took the wings off of those skeletons because they're wings. Like, oh wait, so if a Tyrannosaurus rex ate the branches from trees, do they still eat people? Well, of course they do. It's like a chicken. A chicken spends its whole day plucking at grain, and then it snips all the grass, and it spends its day eating grass and digging through the dirt for grains. But it sees a bug and it's like, yeah, and it just starts going after the bugs. And the first thing you got is, screw the grass, I'm going for the bug. And then so like you put like a dead mouse in front of a chicken, and yeah, a chicken spends its whole day eating grains and grass. But is it going to try and eat a dead mouse? Yes, they're going to kill a mouse, they're going to try and eat it, and when they realize that they can't tear it apart, they're like, damn, this is a lot of effort. Yeah, no, I don't think so. And they'll just walk away. And so that's like a Tyrannosaurus rex. It's not going to take a whole lot of effort to eat you. So it's probably not going to be like a crow where it's going, oh yeah, I can spend all day guzzling a grape. And by a grape, I mean the seed. And here's another seed. And oh, there's another seed. And oh, I'm going to try and muscle down this piece of a leaf. Like that's somehow smart. Because I don't think crows have gizzards. They probably have gizzards. But they're going to like, yeah, I'm going to tear into this meat. So are these Tyrannosaurus rexes who breathe fire and fly and are just absolutely massive be eating people? Of course they are. So that's another aspect of this social political environment where we got trees that just extend way the fuck up there, and we can just fall to our deaths any day of the week. And people will be like sacrificing each other like Spartan style and just booting each other off. It'd be weird. Guaranteed though. Chicken spends its whole day just gluttonizing, and it's living for the moment when it spots a bug. Ah! Can you just imagine? Could you possibly just imagine that if we didn't cut down all the trees to make our houses and make our tools and forge our steel and for all the purposes that we use wood for structurally and for all that crap, if the forests were still alive and they were creating humidity and they were creating air and shade that we can have more fruit and there was more life, and life propagates life from decay and our crap and all this stuff. But if the animals had survived because we weren't killing them and riding them into war and abusing them and screwing up their mating and screwing up their diets, if we were all just like riding around on Triceratops and all this stuff, it'd be insane. But no, instead we're just all abusers. It's absurd. Like, can you imagine how easy it would be to build a pyramid if you yoked a Triceratops? A Triceratops is bigger than an elephant, and yet it's basically designed for hauling things forward. Like, it looks like it was the easiest thing in the universe to yoke, and it was massive. I mean, if you put a payload behind a Triceratops, which wasn't its own max limit, and it was like the same kind of limit that you use like a draft team of like 4 horses to pull, or like 3 horses or 2, just imagine how easy, like it wouldn't even be yoke. It would be like, I'm walking this direction, I hope you guys are too, because I really don't give a crap. I'm a Triceratops. But you're still gonna feed me, right? And so that's basically what I think of when I look at the ground. When I see the ground, all the cracks and the dry dirt are terrain. Sometimes you'd imagine there's water in it, sometimes there wouldn't be water in it, and you can't follow the actual geology of the terrain at your feet because it's generally all sloping in one direction. Then that kind of takes a little bit of the fun for deciding what would be what and how the social interactions could take place in this environment, where they would be hunting for different resources so they can create different alchemy and different medicines and different recipes and have unique cultures so that they all interact on an entirely different psychological basis or standard because of what they need to do in order to survive. And yeah, it's just, I don't know, that's what I see when I see the ground. Peace.